I'm not sure that you want the guy who's one of the worst, least dependable tacklers on a per snap basis playing star in this system. He allowed a reception, like I said, every time that he was clearly targeted this season. So if you're going to be elevating him up to star to get in Grayson Littleton at one of the corners, I just don't think that. I think these starting corners are going to be either Cade Phillips, Warren Roberson, or Kobe Black. Two of those three, and I think you get your best three out there if you have Littleton still at star. And that's my reasoning for not putting him at outside corner.
I think that's probably fair. We definitely have heard some buzz about him going outside and potential training there, and of course, we all know that that's like the long term where you're going to make your most money is bumping outside.
But that's true. But can I just ask you this? Or is the buzz we're hearing really from like stuff that people are hearing from coaches and staff? Or is that just people wanting it to happen, thinking it might be a good idea and floating it out there, and then all of a sudden it becomes people call that buzz?
I think it's probably a little bit of that, plus people correlating what's happened in the past. Guys like Gilbo, guys like Jahdae Barron.
It worked with Barron. It didn't work with Gilbo.
Yeah, so I think that's probably the theory a little bit. A guy that's young, plays early at the inside position, shows talent, shows a little bit of ball skill that he can bump outside. I think Littleton should just stick in that spot. And when you look at the rest of this room, it's like, not to say Grayson Littleton's not, a long corner or athletic or blah, 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 but he's a distinctly different cornerback than I think Cade is, Kobe is, Hayward Howard is. I think Samari even a little bit kind of fits into that outside prototype as far as a build goes. I don't know. I think I'd rather see those guys be on the outside than Grayson Littleton in coverage. And I know just saying those names, Kobe, Cade, Hayward Howard, Samari Matthews, that's like no starts, no career starts between all of those guys. So I kind of wonder, if a cornerback or a safety or, something, I don't know, probably more cornerback, anything that is potentially on the radar for the transfer portal. Or do you just think that they're going to trust this group of corners to go out there against this SEC schedule?
I'm trying to think. Well, you're paying Cade. I'd imagine you're paying Cade Phillips a good grip of money.
Yeah.
I think you're probably paying Kobe Black a decent grip of money. The thing is with Kobe Black, though, it's just like during the season, we're like, okay, like this guy's been dusted, dude. He's going to transfer out, right?
Yeah.
You think about it he starts out the season, he's playing like 30% of the snaps versus Ohio State, and then versus Florida, he's at 50% snaps, and then starting in OU, he's like 3% of snaps, and then versus Kentucky, he's like at 6% of snaps. He didn't play any snaps versus Mississippi State, right? He played only 13% of snaps versus Vanderbilt. He played no snaps versus Georgia. And in these last two games, 33% of snaps versus Arkansas, 50% of snaps versus A&M. And he played one of his best games of the year versus A&M. And so I think that he finished the year on an upswing to where recency bias would tell us that, he's a guy you should keep around. But there were points in the season where we're like, dude, Kobe Black's a real liability out there. So maybe for that reason, you could get him a little bit cheaper this year. But he did Kobe Black came in he has all the upside in the world. And the other thing is that Warren Roberson would oftentimes his playing time down the stretch too, basically starting at the OU game. So at the OU game, 10% of snaps, 10% of snaps versus Kentucky, 10% of snaps versus Mississippi State, then up to 20% versus Vanderbilt, 20% versus Georgia, 22% versus Arkansas, 33% versus A&M. So Warren Roberson, 123 defensive snaps on the season. Kobe Black, 165 snaps on the season. If you look at these guys as far as how do they compare as far as their market share of production? So Kobe, as far as the production market share, Kobe Black was a 1.52% market share, generated production once every 11.58 snaps. Warren Roberson, 1.24% production, generated production once every 10.58 snaps. And then Cade Phillips, 2.66% of the production, generated production once every 7.32 snaps. So Cade Phillips is the one who I think the Cade Phillips is the one who's if I were to guess one of those three to start, I would say definitely I would put Cade Phillips as the front runner. And I also, you asked about the transfer portal. I'm trying to think, and maybe I'm being stupid here, but when's the last transfer corner they brought in that worked? Javion Cole didn't work.
It's not, well, that's the thing, is I don't think it's about what worked. I think it's about the fact that, like, we heard Takario Davis's name last year. He transferred from Arizona to Washington. He's now in the Senior Bowl. Jabbar Muhammad was 2 years ago, right? He transferred to Oregon, and they missed out on both those guys. And that was when they had Manny Muhammad in the room. That was when they had Jahdae Barron in the room. So I do wonder if it's kind of a sneaky position that maybe it's not actually sneaky because of all the youth that's in this room. And I would agree with you on Cade Phillips. He'd be the one that I would expect to kind of step up into that Muhammad role.
Here's something. So that's the deal. But you're with me. Leave Littleton at star.
Yeah.
And if you had to guess, and we just kept it like this, post PK, pre-portal, most likely Cade Phillips and Kobe Black.
Yeah, I think that's pretty clear right now. Post PK, pre-portal, Cade Phillips, Kobe Black. But I wouldn't sleep. You know what I wouldn't sleep on? I wouldn't sleep on the most athletic player on the team. That's probably Jermaine Bishop.
Huh. Oh, I hadn't really thought it. I mean, I haven't projected to play on offense, but maybe I should.
But if he's a freak, that offense has got weaponry. Like, I don't know. It's just they're going to know. They're going to get a full spring of practices in with him. And if that's a position that they don't go out and spend in the portal, he's going to get some reps. And I just wonder what that does to that whole situation. Because we know he's got the skill and the ability and the ball skills and stuff. It's like he could go in there right away and just Grayson Littleton. We didn't expect that a year ago.
No, that's true. Well, yeah. No one expected to walk into spring practice and see that dude running out there with the starters. It's like it would have been one of the last guys that you would have picked. Speaking of last guy to be picked, this just popped in my head. As far as these Longhorn DBs, I think Jalen Gilbo gets drafted after Manny Muhammad and Michael Taft, right?
100%, yeah.
Who gets drafted first? Manny Muhammad or Michael Taft?
I'll go Taft by, I don't know. If I set the number, it'd probably be by 8.5, 9.5 picks. I think they're going to be pretty close, but I think Taft will have it.
But you think that's around late second round, early third round?
Yep. I think that's between like 60 and 75.
How many Longhorns at the combine?
Hill, Muhammad, Moore, Taft, Campbell, Burke, Gilbo.
Is Jack Bowmeister a senior?
Yeah, Bowmeister probably goes. And then I would say maybe, so that's 8. And then like Sean Brevard would be like your maybe.
Did you
9,
say
maybe.
Campbell?
Huh?
Did you say Campbell?
Yeah.
Did you say injuries?
No, because he is not declared.
McShay and Minch were talking about injuries today. Like he was on their all McShay team. Did you listen?
Was he really?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well,
they mentioned him they just mentioned him as one of the guys whenever they're talking about tight ends.
Yeah, I mean that tells you where the tight end class is at. Guy had 311 yards this year.
Yeah. So dude, Texas could have 11 guys again? Yep. What did they have last year?
14 or something.
Yeah. Well, whatever it is. That Sark will remind us at every availability that they had this many this year, and that many the next.